The more you know of Jesus, the better you can speak of Jesus. Hey everybody, it's Pastor Chris. Great to be with you for week 2 of our series called Speaking of Jesus, where we're talking about a new way to share your faith with those who don't share your faith. And if you didn't have a chance to hear the message from last week as we kicked off our series, I'd highly recommend that you go check that out. Not just because it's a message I gave, but because it just sets the tone for this whole series. Because when you and I share our faith, we're not sharing our religion, we're not sharing our moral code, we are sharing our faith in a person, a man named Jesus. It just makes things so much easier when you realize that sharing your faith is just introducing someone you love to someone you love. So each week in our series, we're going to make that a little bit easier for you and a little bit more practical to your everyday life. Now, today, what we're talking about is the difference between knowing of and knowing about someone. Like for you, you know about historical figures, or you know about famous athletes, or you know about movie stars. But just because you know about them doesn't mean that you know them. And there's a difference. And there's a man named Carl Medeiros who perfectly highlights just the importance of knowing Jesus versus knowing about Jesus, and how important that is for your personal witness.
So I'm in Beirut, Lebanon. I'm a Christian missionary, and one day it dawned on me I didn't know Jesus. And it was actually literally a day. It was a day I'd been invited to speak at a mosque in southern Lebanon. And the imam of the mosque leader, said, Carl, actually said, Mr. Carl, please do not speak about Christianity, just Jesus. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I can do that. So I walked on up and I started speaking about Jesus. And I know Jesus. I'm a Christian missionary, so I talk about Jesus I had 45 minutes. And I pretty much said everything I could think about Jesus in 45 minutes. At the end of the 45 minutes, I thought my time was up. He went like this, keep going. I'm thinking, oh no. And actually the feeling I had was not one of elation. I should have thought, wow, this is awesome. I'm speaking to a mosque full of Muslims about Jesus, and the imam wants me to keep going. But actually what I felt was, oh no. I don't know if I know anymore. And so I had this sickening, sinking feeling as I stumbled through another 20, 30 minutes about Jesus, and I realized I've got like an hour and a half max of Jesus stuff. And I'm a professional trained missionary. Imagine that. And somehow I missed Jesus. And it was that moment. God spoke prophetically, I would say, through a Muslim imam to me and challenged me that I didn't know Jesus. And it was a conversion experience that I had, the beginner process, really. I wasn't instantaneous of me saying, okay, I don't know him. And how I got to know him was reading the Gospels. I took 5 years, every single day. I read Matthew, then Mark, then Luke, then John, and then I started over again. I read nothing else, no other books of the Bible for 5 years. And I figured out who Jesus actually was, because unless we know who he was, I don't think we can know who he is.
So, you know what? That's what you guys are going to be talking about in your groups today is how can you get to know Jesus better than you do? Because getting better at sharing your faith with those who don't share your faith begins with knowing the person whom you're speaking about. The more you know of Jesus, the better you speak of Jesus. Now in your small groups, you should have just done an icebreaker where you were writing down different personality traits of somebody you love. Now what's going to be interesting is you're going to do that same exercise for Jesus and see how well you do. And this is not a test to make you feel bad about how little you know about Jesus or how other people in the small group know more about Jesus than you do. This is just to help you realize that Jesus is a person that you can know and that you can know better than you do. And I think this is a great exercise to open your eyes to just how individual and how personal this person that you follow is named Jesus. Have a great discussion, everybody, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.